Imagine coming face to face with a predator, and your survival strategy is to lie motionless, heart racing, pretending to be lifeless. No fighting, no fleeing. Right. Just playing dead. For some animals, this isn't just a last resort. It's a masterclass in deception that can mean the difference between life and death. But how does such a bizarre tactic actually work? Why would pretending to be lifeless stop a hungry predator from finishing the job? This behavior, known as thanatosis, might seem absurd to us, but it's one of nature's most underrated survival mechanisms. Once you understand the science behind it, you'll never see it the same way again. Thanatosis isn't just an act, it's a calculated gamble. Many predators are hardwired to chase moving prey, driven by instinct and the thrill of pursuit. When that prey suddenly drops and goes limp, it disrupts the predator's mental playbook. Movement is the trigger, and stillness breaks the cycle. Some predators even lose interest completely, assuming the prey is either diseased or already dead and not worth the risk of eating. But here's the catch. It only works if the performance is perfect. One twitch, one breath too loud, and the illusion is shattered. Take the opossum, for example, nature's most famous actor. When threatened, it collapses, eyes open, tongue out, and even releases a foul-smelling fluid that mimics the stench of decay. It's a full-body performance down to the last detail. The predator backs off, and the opossum waits sometimes for hours before cautiously reviving. This level of commitment is rare, even among animals. And it's not just about lying still, it's about convincing the predator on every sensory level that you're not worth the effort. Insects have their own version of this trick. The humble beetle is notorious for playing dead when disturbed, folding its legs and freezing completely. Some even drop from high places to sell the performance. And again, predators that rely on motion to track prey suddenly find themselves confused. They hesitate. And in that moment of hesitation, the beetle might get a second chance at life. This pause, just a few seconds, is often all it takes. Birds like the killdeer take this behavior to an entirely new level. Rather than play dead themselves, they fake a broken wing to draw predators away from their vulnerable chicks. Limping, flapping, squeaking in distress, they create an irresistible lure. And once the threat is far enough from the nest, they fly off unharmed. It's a performance of sacrifice, risk, and cunning, and it works brilliantly. Even snakes, some of the most feared predators on Earth, are known to fake death when confronted by larger threats. The hognose snake is a master of drama, rolling onto its back, mouth agape, tongue hanging out. It may even emit a foul odor to sell the act. But here's the twist. If you flip it right side up, it'll flip itself back over to keep the ruse alive. It's a game of theatrical persistence. But this behavior isn't just about fooling predators. It's also a reflection of evolution's incredible creativity. Over generations, the animals that hesitated, froze, or mimicked death were the ones who survived. And those who survived passed on those traits. It's survival of the stillest. And the fact that this trait appears in birds, insects, mammals, and reptiles tells us it works across ecosystems, climates, and species. However, playing dead is not without risk. If a predator is scavenger-oriented, meaning it prefers its meals, lifeless thanatosis can backfire catastrophically, giving it exactly what it wants. This is where instinct must calculate the threat. The animal must somehow sense whether the predator is motion-driven or decay-tolerant. This split-second assessment is what separates survival from being lunch. Young animals often learn this behavior not through experience, but through pure instinct. They don't rehearse it. They don't watch adults do it. They're simply born with the script embedded in their DNA. It's a hardwired defense mechanism, triggered automatically when fear spikes. The body shuts down non-essential functions and prepares for a performance that could save its life. Researchers have studied this phenomenon in laboratory settings, triggering thanatosis in rodents and reptiles to measure its effectiveness. The results are clear. Predators hesitate longer and attack less frequently when prey appears dead. But here's what's more fascinating. Thanatosis also affects the prey's brain chemistry. Heart rate drops dramatically. Breathing slows to near invisible levels. The body mimics death on a physiological level, not just behavioral. Why is this so important in modern ecosystems? Because many environments are more dangerous than ever. Urban sprawl, deforestation, and human presence have introduced new predators, including domestic pets and vehicles. Animals playing dead may avoid a cat's claws or a dog's bite, and in rare cases, even confuse a human long enough to escape. Nature's old tricks are being used in new battlegrounds. It's also a fascinating psychological aspect of thanatosis. It's not unlike what humans experience during extreme trauma. Some scientists believe our own freeze response in dangerous situations, like during assaults or accidents, may be an evolutionary cousin to animal thanatosis. Our bodies, too, may instinctively play dead in moments of ultimate fear. Of course, not all animals are capable of this trick. It takes a certain kind of brain wiring and environmental pressure. Species that rely heavily on camouflage or active escape have less need for such dramatic deception. But for smaller, more vulnerable animals, especially those low on the food chain, this behavior becomes a vital survival tactic. Some species, like certain frogs and lizards, can even switch between camouflage, rapid escape, and playing dead depending on the nature of the threat. It's an adaptive toolkit to gauge the environment in an instant and choose the best card to play. And sometimes, death is the winning hand. In the wild, survival doesn't always go to the fastest or the strongest. It often goes to the most convincing liar. And in the theater of life and death, some of the best actors don't even move. They sell the illusion through stillness, stench, and subtlety. It's a brutal game, but one that works. So how do predators ever learn not to fall for it? Some don't, but others evolve too. There's evidence that certain predators have learned to test dead prey nudging, biting lightly or waiting nearby to see if movement resumes. This predator-prey arms race continues, evolving on both sides. What once worked flawlessly may now require extra layers of deception. In captivity, animals sometimes play dead even when there's no threat. It's a sign of stress or confusion, showing that the instinct is so deeply embedded, it can activate under unnatural conditions. This has led to questions about how far back the behavior goes in evolutionary history, and what other no-extinct animals may have used the same trick. There are even cases of animals faking death in non-predatory situations. Some use it in mating rituals to avoid unwanted partners or confuse rivals. Others deploy it to escape social confrontations or hierarchies. In these moments, it's not just about survival, but strategy, manipulation, and control. Nature always finds new ways to use old tools. Understanding thanatosis changes how we view animal intelligence. It's not just instinct, it's adaptation, calculated risk, and environmental reading. It's decision-making at the edge of life and death. And while we often think of humans as the masters of deception, these animals prove that evolution wrote the script long before we ever performed on stage. So the next time you see an opossum lying in the road or a beetle frozen on the ground, remember this: it's not weakness, it's brilliance. It's the ancient art of survival, perfected through time, sharpened by necessity, and delivered with Oscar-worthy precision. Playing dead isn't just a trick. It's nature's boldest bluff, and for countless species, it works just long enough to keep the story going.